curator here at the Biggs Museum. I'm the person that's responsible for putting on all these new exhibitions like Stairway to Heaven, the works of Salvador Dalí. That show is going to be up here until February 8th, but for the whole month of December, we're going to be releasing a new art project for kids and families at home every Saturday of the month, and we're calling it Happy Dali-Days. So with that, I'm going to introduce you to your first Happy Dali-Days activity here at the museum. And this has to do with complementary colors. Now, before we get into complementary colors, I'm going to tell you a little bit about Salvador Dalí. He was a Spanish-born artist. He was born in the first part of the 1900s. And by the time he was in the 1920s, 1930s, he was really well known as a surrealist painter. And this means that the work that he did, the works that he created, he used subjects that you would be able to recognize, you'd be able to understand them, but he put them in weird combinations with each other. So you see people falling from heaven, and you see time watches, like actual time watches melting into a landscape, or you might see individuals hanging out on giant crutches, and just really odd sort of symbols within his paintings in order to be able to bring across certain kinds of ideas that were important to him. So surrealism was a type of artwork that a lot of different artists were a part of in that first part of the 20th century. And it's been so important to artists around the world that there are even surrealist artists here today, even here in Delaware. So come to the Biggs Museum at 406 Federal Street and come and take a look not only at the Dalí exhibition, but also the other surrealist works that we have within the collection. So back to complementary colors. If you have had any experience with a color wheel, you probably have seen these before, where all the colors of the rainbow are put together in one wheel. So when you put the wheel in place, see if I can get this together. You're going to pick your favorite color. My favorite color is orange. And then the complementary color is right across the wheel on the other side, blue. So blue and orange are opposites on the wheel, but it means that they're complementary colors. Now, sometimes artists use complementary colors in their paintings in order to be able to emphasize color, to be able to create really dramatic differences, really dramatic contrasts in colors that become really, really important within those artworks. They create kind of color rhythms within the painting that really sort of bring your eye and really sort of force you to sort of pay a lot of attention to that artwork. Salvador Dalí was kind of a genius when it comes to color. He used a lot of different kinds of colors, but he used complementary or contrasting colors like that in order to be able to place extra emphasis. So in this top work that we see here, this is part of the show that from the Stairway to Heaven exhibition of Salvador Dalí's work. And this one's called Dantes Confession. This is one of the 100 illustrations that are featured as part of the Divine Comedy. And so this image was originally meant as an illustration for the Divine Comedy, but then ultimately was turned into a fine art print instead. And you can see that Dalí uses orange colors for Dante, and then blue colors for the female figure to the right. And notice how different the orange stands against the blue. It kind of creates this real vibrant contrast between those two colors, a contrast that you couldn't make up, that you wouldn't be the same, would not be the same strength, would not have the same sort of symbolic power if it were, say, like orange and green or orange and red. But because they are contrasting, because they are complementary colors, you see this really terrific color change. Now, this is an example of orange next to blue, but we also down below have an example of orange and blue making up one particular object. So here you have this angel figure. And isn't it funny with the surrealism, the angel has a big window in the center and we can just see Dante through the center of it. But the angel is wearing the blue robe. Here's the head. You can just barely make out the halo above, but the wings, these bright, vibrant, fiery wings, are made up of orange and blue, orange and blue, and it creates this real tense energy within those wings. And you make that with just little brush strokes of blue and orange next to one another. So those are a couple of examples of the use of complementary colors within your artworks. So what we've done here at the museum is we've taken 3 different illustrations from the Salvador Dalí exhibition, and we've turned them into black and white prints that you can take home and experiment with complementary colors yourself. Maybe in one, you want to use what Dalí had used with like blue and orange as complementary colors, or maybe you want to try purple and yellow, or red and green. It's your choice, whatever colors sort of draw your attention, but use the color wheel to help you define those. And just because you use one red or one green doesn't mean that you have to just stay with those 2 colors. You can use lots of different kinds of reds: dark red, pink, bright red, pale red, and lots of different kinds of greens. Grass green, the green from different colors of trees, the greens that you use for your favorite sweater. All of those different colors all together, but try and stay to complementary colors for the whole picture. I bet you it'll be really challenging. That's again for next Saturday, and we will bring you another art lesson from Salvador Dalí's Stairway to Heaven.